If you've been watching my VidCon vlogs, you might be wondering, why isn't there a video from the day she went home? That was the day I travelled from Anaheim right back to Scotland, and there isn't a vlog for that. And there's a couple of reasons for that. Firstly, I didn't vlog very much, and secondly, most of the vlog footage I did take was in relation to my trip to the airport. Now, this is an incident that's still fresh in my mind a month later. I'm going to tell it to you today because I think it's an important story, and I don't really have any notes written down, so hopefully this isn't going to get too rambly. But this is something I really feel is important to share, so let's get going. It was the morning after VidCon and it was time for me to go home. I'd booked a shared ride service to pick me up from my hotel and take me to the airport. A shared ride service, for anyone who doesn't know, is basically a company that has a big van and they pick up various passengers who are all going to a similar destination. So in this case, it was going around hotels in the Anaheim area and taking us all to the airport. When the driver arrived at my hotel, I got the feeling that he was a little bit grumpy. I don't really know what it was, he just seemed very impatient, he just wanted to get out of there really quickly, and he'd been grumbling to another couple of passengers about a window being open. I don't know what his deal was, whether it was just Sunday morning, whether something had happened. I don't know, but he just seemed really impatient. We get to the next hotel and there are two passengers waiting to be picked up. One of them is in a wheelchair. The wheelchair actually belonged to the hotel, and all the passenger really needed was some extra time to get in and out the van and some help from her friends. As soon as he saw this girl in the chair, it's like any patience that he had totally disappeared. The atmosphere in the van was really awkward. He was telling this girl, "You're wasting my time." He didn't really want to talk to her. He wasn't too nice to her friend either. And it's like he thought the two of them were troublemakers that were there to sabotage his day, as opposed to treating them like passengers. These people were customers of his, and he was being so horrible to them. It was really awkward. And if I thought that was bad, what happened next was so horrendous that I'm smiling, but it just isn't funny. I can't actually believe this happened. We get to the airport and it just so happens that these two girls are the first ones to be dropped off. Now the driver is aware that when he picked them up, one of the girls was in a wheelchair. He's aware she needs extra time in and out the van, and he's also aware that the wheelchair she was using belonged to the hotel, not the girl, so when she gets out at the airport, she's going to have to locate another chair. So what did he do? He dropped them off in the middle of the road, nowhere near anywhere they could get a chair. I am so angry about this. If I'd realised that's what he was going to do, I would have got out as well, because that was just shocking behaviour. This was one of the lanes where you could still drop off even though you were basically in the middle of the road. So he'd stopped, he got all the stuff out, the girls got out, and then he drove away. And they weren't really anywhere near a chair. So this girl had to wait in the middle of the road with all the luggage while her friend had to go and get her a chair. This whole thing, it's been like a month and it still bothers me that this happened. It still bothers me that I witnessed this and I wasn't able to do anything about it. If I'd realised that's what he was going to do, if I'd realised he would have the sheer nerve to drop somebody off in the middle of the road, I just couldn't even imagine that that's something he could do. Following this, I went the whole way home and I couldn't stop thinking about it. I honestly couldn't believe that was something that had happened. I still think I'm in disbelief that it ever happened. If I hadn't have been there, I would have thought that this was somebody exaggerating, because I just haven't really ever been opened up to that. I'm an able-bodied person. I've never experienced that for myself, and it was honestly eye-opening. And I can't believe that people have to go through that, and I'm really sad that they do. I'm really sad that that's a believable thing. If you're watching this, you might be wondering, why didn't the girls order a wheelchair accessible van? I actually know the reason for this, but because it's not really my story to share, I'm going to keep the details vague. Basically, the girl hadn't known she was going to be in a wheelchair. She hadn't known she was going to have reduced mobility that day. So they ordered a regular van thinking that everything would be fine. And really, everything would have been fine. All she really needed was a little bit of extra time getting in and out. I don't think her ordering the wrong van is a valid reason for him acting like a jerk, because she was still able to get in and out the van. She just needed extra time, and loads of people could need extra time for getting in and out the van. An elderly person could need extra time for getting in and out the van. Somebody with young kids could need extra time getting in and out the van. Hey, even me! I could need extra time for getting in and out the van, and I don't need to order a wheelchair accessible van, so why should she? On that day, I really realised what the phrase "the future is accessible" means. And if I don't call out that behaviour, if I just ignore it, then I'm not really contributing towards that world becoming a reality. And I want to live in that world. I want to live in a place where we don't blame people for our problems, where we don't think disability is an issue, or that they're doing somebody a favour by taking them to the airport when they have a disability. That is a load of rubbish, I have to say. And I want to live in a world where that doesn't happen. I want to live in a world that doesn't happen to me, it doesn't happen to my friends, my family, and it doesn't happen to complete strangers, because it is horrible to see, regardless of who they are to you, and it is horrible to hear about, and it's horrible to even know that somewhere in the world that's happening. Is it cruel to boycott a company based on one bad experience? Yes and no. Yes, because it could just be the driver's prejudices and ignorance that led to this experience, and they might not be indicative of the company as a whole, but then that driver is an ambassador to them, and the company themselves might be putting time limits onto him that make him feel like he has to rush everybody in and out the van. And if that's what's going on, then I think the company really needs to think about hiring more staff, being more patient with people, and putting more of an emphasis on customer service. Because customer service isn't just getting there on time, it's getting there and making sure that the customers feel respected. And that's what's definitely missing on this journey. This is usually the point where I say, I hope you enjoyed the video, but is this really the sort of video that you can enjoy? I suppose really more I want to say, I hope this experience taught you something. I hope it makes you think about how disabled people are treated. And I hope that if anything similar happens, you maybe consider making a stand yourself. And making a stand can be giving them survey results, not using the company again. It doesn't necessarily mean a YouTube Storytime video. So thanks for watching, everybody. If you have any thoughts on this, I'd love to hear them down below. I don't feel right doing the sort of links around the screen thing, but you know where they are if you want to check them out. And hopefully I'll see you back soon. Cheerio.